Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Dan and Don's Fans Q&A, where you send us the questions, and if we want, we'll give you an answer. Otherwise, we just throw it away.
All right, here we're gonna do a little fan Q&A. We got Brandon Starr. He wants to know: did you guys enjoy the no holds barred MMA or your pro wrestling careers more?
Don, you start off there, Don. I'll let you go. I'll let you feel questionable one first.
All right, because I usually take less time. I like the NHB, that aspect of my career. I enjoyed it. I like the pro wrestling, but it just, it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be. I didn't. It was my fault. I did not commit myself like I should have. Like I committed myself really hard to the NHB, which was basically the only thing I ever committed myself to in this world. I know I didn't commit myself to collegiate wrestling and nor to pro boxing. And but when NHB came around, is the fit I was looking for. Your turn, Severn, sir, mister.
Well, no, again, I'm looking at it. It's kind of like going, which one that I like more? I mean, honestly, I liked I always just refer to it as cage fighting because going from the NHB to the MMA modern day industry. What I liked about that, you had an unknown outcome. What I say about that is that you're competing for real. Whereas in professional wrestling, you got to respect the athletic ability of these athletes because they are doing some of the most incredible athletic maneuvers without the aid of a safety net. And during my own personal career, I've been hurt far worse in my professional wrestling industry than I have been in all my cage fights combined, which is it should not happen like that.
Right. I broke my neck doing pro wrestling,
For
the second time.
Don, you're lucky. You're lucky that honestly, you're lucky to be walking and talking. I said what I did not like about professional wrestling was the political aspect of it.
Right.
It's the fact that now they want you to again. I just throw this out there. They want Don Frye now to go out there and lose to Doink the Clown.
Right.
And I use that again. I have nothing against Doink the Clown. I thought there's been several different Doinks that I've known over the years, but it's kind of going. I always equated that professional is like you're an actor, you're a stuntman. At least have some respect for the people that have done other careers and what they did in those careers.
Right.
And don't make them into like a proverbial jobber just to make people that could not carry your jock strap in any other industry now be a dominant force over you. That was the hard part about it for me.
Right, because they do destroy all sense of reality, which is what they're trying to portray. They're trying to portray reality. This guy's tougher. This is a real legitimate fight. And then they go and they have Dan Severn lose to the Brooklyn Brawler. Yeah, that kind of destroys everything that they're trying to pass off.
Yeah, and even to go on to that, professional wrestling promotion versus another professional promotion, a lot of times they don't. If Don Frye is the champion of this WWF promotion, they don't want Don Frye to go over to the WCW promotion because maybe WCW promotion will want Don Frye to lose there, and now it makes WCW look stronger.
Right.
And that's just not the case. So it's just that's the hard part about that, especially when you become a title belt holder. You have to kind of conduct yourself a little bit differently. You've got to, there's a lot to it. that the public is really not aware of.
Yeah, I mean, the politics in the industry is horrendous.
Yep.
All right, guys. Here's another question from David. He says, "Where are the little Fries and the little Severns of the world? Are your children in the fight game? Would you let your children in the game? With some, it's a family affair, like with the Gracies. So, would you let your kids fight if they could? I know you got girls.
You know, it's funny. Yeah, I have two girls, and Katie, my oldest daughter, Katie, a couple years ago, she did an internship with the UFC one summer, and she's a writer, and so she did some sports writing for him one summer, and then now Cassie just informed Katie, I think I'm gonna try and do an internship with the UFC because she's doing sports medicine. And Katie said, "No, you're not. That's my territory. UFC's my territory. Don't you dare cross the line and go over that. That's mine."
Yeah, but the ironic part is they're in two different areas, though. I would think that would be great. I mean, I would actually think it'd be great if I had my brother or my sister or something like that to be there because they're in two different fields.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but they're too much like their mother.
He's not saying it anymore. Not saying it anymore. If you can't say it in nice, then don't say it at all.
I'm stopping.
Okay. Well, okay. I have had 5 children. I have 2 daughters and I have 3 sons. Not exactly in that order, but still, between the males and the females. I mean, I've always been an avid promoter of my kids being involved in athletics along with their academics. I also promoted them to look at college, but not straight out of high school, because I'm a big believer that most high school students, they go right to college and there's a lot of things they don't even comprehend. They don't understand. They all have this illusion that they're going to go to college, come out 4 years later with this degree, and they're going to make $1 bazillion.
Right.
It's kind of like the Great American Hoax. All they do is they get a degree, and after 4 years, they come out thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in debt with student loans. And they did not get this job that's making them $1 bazillion. I actually think that American youth, upon high school graduation, should actually go into the military for 1 to 2 years.
Right.
Or, if not that, go into the workforce for 1 or 2 years. Go out there and get that JOB, and that JOB is going to have a BOSS. Most of these young people are going to hate their BOSS. Thus, they are going to hate their JOB. But the sad reality is, most of them are going to sit around and BITCH.
Yeah.
Now, I did all like that to find out how many of our listeners actually can spell and how many of them are going to be pulling on a piece of paper. And, because I've done this same little talk for various high schools and junior highs, and it never fails that I'll get lots of laughs right as soon as I finish the joke, but then there'll be that one delay. Like, maybe 15, 20 seconds later, and he's a dumber. And I'm thinking, oh, well, there you go. That's another precious one right there. Yes. So, but anyway, it's, I never wanted any of my kids to fall into the fight game because of what it was like. I did not mind if they wanted to fall into amateur wrestling. I would not have had no problem with that. And I actually did have one of my sons involved. They're all in the different athletics. The girls played volleyball, basketball, and the softball, and the boys. Basically, my oldest son, he was a cross country runner and a basketball player. I mean, but he was just a tall drink of water. And then my second son went into wrestling, and then my youngest son ended up going into basketball, track and field. And actually, was a very exceptional athlete. He played football. I mean, was like a little one man wrecking machine. He was gifted with speed. And obviously, he didn't get the speed for me because I'm not fast. But I would have supported them in almost any type of aspect that they wanted to pursue. But the fight game, only if I was going to be there and to hover over them like a mother hen on every aspect, because I've been looking out for their best interest at all times. And the fight game was getting uglier and dirtier. So that's why I just, they did not go into it, and I'm thankful for that.
Well, going back to how dirty the fight game is, you would go you go there, you show up to the fight, and they give you the contract like the afternoon of the fight or 1 or 2 hours before. And, you've got a 4-page contract, and you're supposed to read this thing the day of the fight and sign it and be ready, be okay with it,
Yeah. And one of the things about what you think about that, Don, is not only to be able to read it, because there's a lot of legal terminology.
Right. It's a bait and switch. It's a bait and switch game.
Yes. If you put in a certain sequence, it means something entirely different.
Right.
And then I got to the point there, it's like going, when I'm asking, what does this mean? And they tell me, I like what you just said. Write it that way. Because there were some times that I would not sign something because I did not understand what it meant. Or I know that there was a potential of it to mean a few different things. And then when I would question it, I go, why did you write it that way in the first place? I go, cross it out, write it in there, initial it then. I go, because they say we don't have time. I like, just scratch it through, print it out right now. You got an ink pen. You got time. Show hasn't started yet. But then there's other times I work for other promoters where I do that. The promoter handed me a check. And this check was made by Whammo. It was going to bounce. I just do it. And then I would go to, again, on this one particular occasion, it had to be, I'm part of a fight show at a casino. And I went to the casino reps. I go, are you willing to cash this check right now? And they're like, no. I said that I will not be stepping in the cage. I just want you to know. I said, because there's this check I'm being given by the promoter, and you guys won't even back his check, I won't be stepping in the cage. Well, lo and behold, I had my money before trying to step in. And that's sad. Because you should not be worried about everything else. You should only be worried about one thing, and that is your match.
Right.
And yet to me, it's like, well, it's one thing to be in a match. Other thing is like, you're risking to get injured, and I mean, you could get injured in a very bad way that could end your career. Last day in the road, you ought to know that I don't have any health benefits. I'm not going to get compensated. So I don't know. There's a lot to the fight game, and you have to have some really good people around you that have your best interest.
Well, a couple of times we had really good people who had our best interest, but we still came out on the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
All right.
And then a couple of times I got robbed completely. I mean, just robbed completely by my own agents.
Wow. Yep. Well, I mean, there were okay. Again, there were just different times where even when you look at the Ultimate Fighting Championship, some of the different people that they had in charge at the time They had vested interest in certain fighters too. I'm thinking,
Right.
yeah, that's a conflict of interest.
Right.
And so there's, I don't know. Like I said, there's all kinds of. I'll say that the whole cage fighting, NHB, the MMA industry had to go through a lot of growing pains to where it's probably the best it is at right now. Is there still room for growth and room for improvement? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it continues to move in that direction.
Right. So here we go. All right, Don. Another question for you. This is also from David. It says that I just recently learned that Clay Guida is related to Don, being his uncle by some relation.
By some relation, yes. One of my relatives is the milkman over there in Clay Guida's neighborhood, and so here comes 35 years ago, here comes little Clay.
The milkman.
The milkman is a relation, yes.
And there you go, everybody.
Now you know the truth, the whole truth, and
You gotta-
the truth.
You gotta watch out when you drink that milk because sometimes you end up with a mustache as you drink that milk. There you go.
Way to go, Mr. Severn.
Well, that's why they pay me the big bucks to
Yeah,
come with stuff like that,
So try. He'll be here all week, folks. Try the veal. Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Fans Q&A. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.